Here quick. Dana Stewart is on YouTube. YouTubers, you guys are fast. Why are YouTubers so fast? Good morning to you. Um, Divine Flavor 4 underscore MS is on Instagram. To all of you who are under the sound of my voice, Shaquita Smith, Deacon Bobby Brown, God bless you. Deborah Brown 16 is on Instagram. God bless you all. To all of you, Capris or Caprice Wilson or Watson is going up the timeline. Help me, Rhonda. KA is going up the timeline from Instagram to YouTubers to Facebookers to all of the lookers all over the world. Island Kiss just went up the timeline. God bless you. Sean Franklin is going up the timeline. Lakeisha M. Johnson is going up the timeline. How are you guys? Let me do a mental health check. Good morning. Are you guys okay? Because that is what it is about. Someone said, Trinidad Tobago loves you. I am so honored, and I love Trinidad as well as everyone that is watching me. Brittany Rose just went up the timeline. Slim underscore so shady #1 on Instagram going up the timeline. Kaylin is doing my count. Good morning. How are you? Shireen, how you doing, girl? Connie Bogus is going up the timeline. Samantha K. Barnes, it's good to see you. To everyone, my husband is sleeping. He's a little bit under the weather still, and yet but he is amazing. So to Apostle Freddie Gooden, it is amazing. Star Maker Cosmetics said, hello from Brooklyn. That's right. That's my hometown. Brooklyn is in fact where the birth be at. How am I doing? Talia Jones, I'm glad you asked me. I am doing okay. A little bit under the weather. I ain't got COVID, so please don't spread that lie. Sometimes you have to understand that it is flu season. It is cold season. And I'm going to say this. When we were little kids growing up in Brooklyn, we used to have these huge blizzards. They were huge. What's up, Bishop Wesley? These blizzards were huge. We would shut down schools. The snow, it doesn't snow like that. I haven't seen that in years. Where the snow goes up to, like, when I was a little girl, it was up to my chest. So now that I know that adults at that time, because I was a little girl, it was probably up to y'all's thighs. But to me, it was up to my chest. And the blizzards used to be just bombarded. And we used to say, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold. I don't think we're going to have to say it's cold anymore. I think the word COVID has taken over cold. And so when the little babies, the COVID babies grow up, it's no longer going to be a cold. It's going to be, everything is going to be COVID related. So it's not COVID. I'm going to tell you that. It's just that I go from one state to another state, and sometimes we just get a little bug. And so I'm fine. I went to the hospital and I ain't got COVID. So please don't tell that lie. Mika wants to talk to MJ. Mika wants to talk to you. Okay, let's make that happen. To each and every one of you, Elder Michelle just went up the timeline. Tonight it is Bible study. We want you guys to be there. What I want you to do today, I want you guys to tag someone. I need you to tag someone, please. I don't ask a lot. I really don't. I am asking you. I want to talk to someone that you can't reach. I do. Can I do that this morning? We're going to go to the Word of God, but I want to talk to someone that you've been trying to reach that you can't reach. Meaning this, someone that's going through a level of sadness, someone that's going through a level of depression, someone that you want them to be okay, but truth be told, brown sugar underscore 728, they're not okay. You know they're not okay. Can you please allow me to talk to them or put this in their page? Can you do that? Can someone do the count? Because I am going to go to a specific vein, and I don't want anyone to, just like the enemy, I had that set in, of course. I don't want anyone to miss this. Still standing, and God's is waving at me. God bless you. I underscore love underscore Tippy is going up the timeline. Michelle, you're going to have to do the count because I don't know where they are today. You're going to have to do the count, Michelle. Sometimes other Michelle's like, oh my gosh, I just need a word. Please get it later. But I need the count. And the count is important because I don't want to leave anyone out. Can you do that? Thank you. Jacksonville, Florida is going up the timeline. God bless you. Someone says, share this. Please do that. I love you. MJ, she'll inbox you. Come on, someone do the count. Pastor Powers just went up the timeline. All of the wonderful Ecclesiastical office is going up the timeline. Someone tag Perlette. Perlette, where are you? Perlette, are you there? In fact, put the names of the people who you want to tag. TK King, are you there? Man, where you at? Because people are tagging. Sabrina Miller, where are you? God bless you. To each and every one of you who are under the sound of my voice. There is way over 1,000. Anyone that is celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you. It is way over 1,000. Michelle, I need you to get that count going. Way over 1,000 people. Someone said, I need prayer this morning. Tracy D. Coleman, I got you. Someone just tagged virtual underscore greatness. Nikki underscore just 101 just tag you. Jennifer, you just got tagged. Lily Simmons, you just got tagged. Tyrone J. Washington, you just got tagged. Renika Cofield, you just got tagged. It is way over 1,000 people in the sound of my voice. Camille, I love you. Heidi, you just got tagged. Let's go. Ronnie, Flavored, Harrison, you just got tagged. Yeah, Disha, Bedford, Tracy just tagged you. You just got tagged. The Realness Slim just got tagged. Come on, let's go. Tara, Stovall, you just got tagged by Stephanie. Come on. Shamira Anderson, you just got tagged by Cursor. Yak Nation, you just got tagged by Pastor Johnson. Blythewood, you're on here. God bless you. Sam Brew, you just got tagged by grown folks. Someone said, I just tagged myself. Deidre just tagged Rochelle James. Becky Jones, you just got tagged. Erica, you just got tagged. Let's go. Quita, you just got tagged by Cursor again. 1,199 people under the sound of my voice. Raven Simone, you just got tagged. Zadie underscore Zandra underscore James, bless you. Glenda Wright, you just got tagged. The word of the Lord in the book of Job. I want to concentrate on that because a lot of people don't understand that Job was where most people are. We live in a day and a time where the Bible says that the love of mankind shall wax cold, and we're seeing it around the world. Around the world, everyone has gotten very cold, and it is the holiday season, and nobody is paying attention. Back in the 70s, so I just told my age. I am 51 years young. Back in the day, you would be able to go inside of the stores and they would be having toys for tots. Not just toys for tots. They would have, excuse me, because my mama told me don't blow your nose in front of anybody. There. See, I ain't rude like that. So they would have toys for tots. And I remember when I was working for Bear Stearns, I was working for one, actually I worked for two of the most powerful brokerage homes in the world, Goldman Sachs and Bear Stearns. This is not a plug, I'm just giving you a bit of my resume. And I would remember going through Park Avenue and they would have these very large Christmas trees and they would be filled with toys because that's what we do at our own church, my husband and I, Unity Charlotte International. And so you would go by certain places and you would see all of this charity going on. But what I realized now, because I have the heart of a giver, it stopped. It stopped because now times are perilous and the pandemic has hit us and a lot of people don't know what they're going to do. But one of the things that nobody speaks about is during the holiday time, depression gets at an all-time high. 1,522 people who are click tagging and share. One of the things that I have to bring to your attention is that the African American community shuns psychiatrists, shuns help. You don't want to talk about what you're going through. And unfortunately, you pastors who told somebody that they don't need a psychiatrist, you pastors that said that you don't need medication, and the great words of my friend, Bishop Jeff Crockett of the Vine Church in Memphis, stated that if a pill can fix it, it ain't a spirit. I'm going somewhere. And so I'm going to say to my beautiful African American community, if you can buy J's in bundles, whether you have insurance or not, get help. 1,523 people. You do not have to suffer in silence anymore. It is the holiday season, and because most people are worried about themselves, you don't have the wherewithal to worry about anybody else. And so this is where the leaders come in. Let me be the leader to tell you that I recognize that depression hits an all-time high around the holiday season. Hence to why we just had black, you don't like what I'm saying? Okay. Because a lot of leaders don't like what I'm saying anyway, but that ain't gonna be the first time. You have to understand that that is why the Lord has petitioned us last Saturday to have mental health in the black church. Because it is unfortunately that the black church feel like they don't need it. The devil has always been and will always be a liar. You need to go get help. Oftentimes, too many of us are so quiet. We tell the African American men that be strong, be tough. You better not cry. You better be strong. You soft. And that is not the case at all. I'm going to need you to stop telling black men that, because your sons need help just as much as your daughters. Your husband needs help just as much as the wife. The family needs help. And oftentimes we in the African American community, especially in the church, are so busy praying about stuff until your faith is wavering because you ain't putting no work in. Cheers to you. A therapist is necessary. I will probably be one of the only pastors that will tell you. What do I tell y'all? Almost 2,000 people understand my voice. Have a psychiatrist in one hand and the Bible in another. Let your faith and your works work together. It is necessary during this holiday time that you check on people and make sure they are fine, because it is okay to not be okay. But it is not okay for you to suffer in silence and don't say anything because you're afraid about what people gonna say. It is very necessary for you to understand that God understands. Now, there are people who are on here saying, I'm not okay. Patina, if you're on here, you got to get ready to work, baby. Somebody wake up early. Insurance is a very big problem. With everything that's going on in politics, I wish that there was a level of me that will run for some sort of seat, because I don't understand how you could take millions of dollars. And I'm not saying agriculture is not important. I'm not saying that, fracking is not important. I'm not saying those things. But I would love to have someone stand up in Congress and give a plethora. And since the founder and the CEO of Amazon wants to be so generous, would you please give money to mental health? It is necessary. There is a big hole in the mental health crisis. We saw on a couple of days ago, this beautiful African American young man took the lives of some 3 or 4 African American young men on the bus in Virginia because he was being bullied. People can't handle life like they used to. It is a different game today, and they don't know what to do. And so since Amazon CEO is being so generous, can you please, you and Elon Musk, give some money to mental health, because there is a hole. This is the hole from this perspective that I am going to speak on, because I too have gone through the same thing that most people are going through with their children. When you have children of a certain age, now yesterday I was dealing with so many issues with people who are going through things mentally, people who have been at the brink of a suicidal thought or tendency. And so since I am a leader that hears it, And I'm not the leader that's afraid to speak about it. Let me do that. This is the hole in mental health. The hole is when you have people who are going through things that don't have insurance. I believe that there shall be some sort of free health care for people who don't have insurance, for people who are going through things that are mental. That means you have to classify them. Depression is at an all-time high, and so since they don't have anywhere to go, you have to tell your church and your parishioners, you've got to deal with the mental health part. And if anyone stands before you and say that they want to take their life or hurt someone else, you've got to say something. It is your right. So the problem that we have in mental health is insurance. No one is standing up saying that these people need coverage because it just doesn't cover their house. It covers when they go outside of the house and have to interact with people that don't know their mental state. I don't even want to go with the police officers because they're not trained. They have to be trained, and even though you have the units, the 502 units or the 504 units, someone correct me if I'm wrong, those units are trained to handle people who are going with things mentally so that they won't respond the way you handle anyone else that broke in your house. I think police officers need to be retrained. I'm not done yet. But this is the conundrum of it. You can go get an IVC, an involuntarily, committal, when your child is over 18. And what happens is they give them a psych eval from 24 to 48 hours. And if that child is of age where they are an adult considered 18, and they know the system and they know to sit there and answer the questions, but when they get home, they tearing the house up and they terrorizing everybody. As a mother or a father or someone, it's going to break your heart to do it, but you got to do it because your child or the person that's going through something mentally needs help. And so you go get an IVC and you go before the judge. They give you 24 to 48 hours. It's not like a warrant. What they do is say you got to call them if they come home. And sometimes they don't come home. I'm seeing things in the spirit, y'all. I'm not crazy. And so what happens is the person that you're dealing with mentally and they're terrorizing themselves or terrorizing others, they get out. And then when they get out, they come back home and they become a detriment to themselves or the people around them. There is a hole there. But then when something happens, you blame society. You blame that mother, you blame that father, you blame that family and say, why didn't you get help? If I'm telling the truth, give the thumbs up. Because what you say is, how come you didn't go get them help? Well, they did. The hole in mental illness is that if they decide that they're going to refuse to be committed, refuse counseling, refuse all of those things, then it goes back to the parents. And the parents are calling on people that can help them. And yet and still, y'all want to blame everybody, but there's no help. Now, this is another problem. When that person gets out, you can't make them take their medication. I am going to say this, if anyone is suffering from depression, sometimes you need, if not all the time, an antidepressant. You need to take your medication. Well, what do I do? If my child, if my spouse, or whoever it is that's terrorizing the house does not want to take their medication, so therefore you say, well, they're not taking their medication. Well, you can't make them take it. You can't make them take it. And so because you can't make them take it, I am saying with all of the stuff Pfizer and whoever else is doing, there's a shot. There's a shot. There's a shot. Patina, you on here? Thank you. That you can administer to them because you can't make them take medication. I am saying to anyone that's going through any level of depression, take your medication. The mental health crisis gets worse during this time of the year. Please take your medication. Your medication helps you, and it helps the people that you come in contact every day. We want everybody to be safe, but we want you to be okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, I'm having a bad day. But it's not okay to take a permanent situation and classify that you got a bad life. You're having a moment, and it is okay for you to have those moments. I am a leader, whether people want me to be or not. There are some people, unfortunately, that are psychotic, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. There are all types of classification. And sometimes you don't know what to do. And even though we know who to call, it's going to take a village. Mommy, can I talk to you? It broke my heart last night when I got a phone call and a young man was crying. It was a father and he was crying, real tears. And he said, please, Pastor, help my son. And you could hear the crackling in his voice. It's, I don't know what to do with my son. And he was 9 years old. He said, I don't know what to do. Now, this is where I'm going to hurt people. But I'm going to hurt your feelings to do what? Save your life. Parents, and I don't want you to go away. I need you to listen to me real good. Listen to Auntie. Listen to Nana. Listen to me. Hear my wisdom. Hear my wisdom. Now, people are crying because I must have hit on something. I must have hit on something. Good. What do you do when you are in a divorce? Or if you don't have your children with you and you know something is going on mentally in their mind? Thank you, Patina, for putting up the suicide prevention hotline. It's 988. Just 988 on your phone. Hear what I'm saying? Yeah. What do you do? I'm talking to the teachable women and the teachable men. This is a no hate message, please. People are crying right now. People are crying. Thank you, Patina. The therapist just said, MJ, you speaking 2,010 people on the sound of my voice. Hear what I'm saying? What do you do when your child is going through something and the other parent is fighting you because they don't want your child to be evaluated? What do you do when you want to fight with him because y'all ain't together and your child needs help? What do you do when the child is acting out in school and because the father knows that, you can help here, but you says, I ain't helping nothing. That's your problem. And the mother is crying real tears and the father is crying real tears, but y'all can't get along to save the child's mental state. What do you do? I'm going to need you guys to be big little people and set your differences aside because it's about the best interest of the child and not you. You are very selfish to fight each other, knowing that that child is going through something mentally, and you won't go up to the school and fight for your child to get the help that they need. I'm going to need y'all to grow up. I need you to be big little people now and make a conscious decision that you want to fight or you want to see your child do something, God forbid. Someone said, you are on point this morning. LaWanda Harvey, I'm just doing what God laid on my heart. How dare you guys fight each other, knowing that that child is going through something mentally? One parent will agree and another person don't want to fight, and y'all, no. Set your differences aside because that child has to grow up and become, hopefully, an upstanding citizen of this nation. So I'm going to need y'all to grow the hell up. Oh, they don't like my verbiage again. Y'all be fine. This culture today has emotions in the way. When the children need you to act fast, I won't even say it, but all around me are educators. And I had one educator she says, you know what? She had another suicide attempt and she's in the 4th grade. And I'm like, what? What possibly could be wrong with a 4th grader? Children are being bullied, and bullying is wrong. I don't care if you're an adult and you're bullying people, you're wrong. If you're a child and your child is being bullied, go up to the school. All right, fine. I'll give you an example. I remember when my child was being bullied and I left work. And so, because I kind of know a lot of people, I went to the school and they began to show me on camera what these boys did or was attempting to do. And I thank God my son got a little me in him somewhat. And so, what I did is I said, okay, this is what I did. I'm trying to help you with something. It's going to make a whole lot of sense when I get done. I said to the security guard, who was part of Car Chronicles, where they at? She said, when they come down, I'm just going to go like this. So I waited in the lobby. Told my son to get in the car. And as soon as they came downstairs, she went. Well, I will say this. I made sure my children knew that I will fight for you. Even if it is children. Go get your mama and daddy so they can get this whooping. Because what you're going to do is you're going to leave my child alone. What am I saying? Your children need to see you responding to their pain at school. Someone said this is my segment of the message. Your children, it is factual that they need to know that you're responding. Y'all too busy fighting each other to respond to bullying pain in the school. And I'm not advocating nothing. I'm saying let them see you fight for them so that they won't be home at night struggling with it themselves. Too many children are being bullied and the parents are not responding because you're too busy waiting for the school to do something. The school waiting for you. I'm not done. I'm just getting started. You mean to tell me you can't put your differences aside to make sure that the children know that mommy and daddy are responding because they care for us and they don't care that they ain't sleeping with each other no more? I'm going to need you to get your feelings out the way. I'm not done. Your children don't know how to deal with it. And some of them are so depressed because they just want you to stand up. Get to that school. Hold on, let me say something. Y'all not going to like me. Get to the school like you get at Free Hennessy on Friday nights at the club. You can pack the club out, but you can't pack the PTA meetings out. You can pack the club out, but see, sometimes your priorities are out of order, and your priorities is causing disorder. Might drop. And so some of you have to say, I got to do better this year. I got to do better. Because we're fighting for the minds of our children. Your children are now exposed to stuff that you weren't exposed to because of TikTok, Instagram. Your children are exposed to the spiritual realm. They're exposed to very dark stuff. Did you not know that? And so you don't know how to help them. And so what you do is you says, no, they don't need church no more. They need church and the psychiatrist. They do. Let me say something else. The holidays make people sad. Especially because we have come out of this pandemic. And the people that were around the table are no longer at the table. And so people become depressed because mama's not here. Daddy's not here. My son's not here. My daughter's not here. My friend's not here. Whoever it is, unfortunately, the reality is they're gone. And as much as we want them, they will not come back. And so what you have to do is you have to hunker down and you got a little bit of help. But you can make it. In the Solace Ministry, we teach something between mourning and grieving. There is a difference. You mourn. Jewish people sit Shiva. Take 30 days and they mourn. But grieving, oh, we can't let you do that. Okay, you crying. Okay, I'll use my shirt. Okay. You crying. Okay. See, the counting stop. I need you to pay attention, Caitlin. Michelle not paying attention because she just done went somewhere. I don't know where she went. Grieving means I don't want to live no more. I'm done. I don't want to leave anymore. I don't want to live anymore. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. No, you can't do that. And so what happens is grieving takes over your whole life. Grieving takes over your whole life. You don't want to get up. You don't want to dress. You don't want to do nothing because now there's this cloud of grief over you and you have to fight through it. If you have children, I'm going to say this because someone couldn't say it, but let me. I understand that, mommy. I understand that, daddy. But what I want you to realize, see, there's an understanding, but I want you to realize. I understand you're grieving because you lost a child, but I want you to realize, see, there's an understanding and there's a realization. I understand you lost a child, but I want you to realize there are other children. There are other children. There are other children. And so therefore, I'm going to say this. They need you. There's a level of selfishness that grieving robs you of. That mourning gives you time. 2,055 people. Grieving robs you of the opportunity to smile, love again, laugh again, be a friend, and take care of your children. That's why we don't want you to grieve. You see people you're grieving. The Solace Ministry is here. Minister Stefanetta just went up the timeline. A lot of people don't know the Solace Ministry. We're here for you. The Solace Ministry will send you roses and flowers. The Solace Ministry will give you cards. We connect people who are grieving to the Solace Ministry. You didn't know that Unity does that, do you? Every church should have a Solace Ministry. I love you too. And so your children are looking, saying, Mommy, we need you too. Someone said, well, what happens if it's your only child? If you have an only child, that is hard, very hard. But there is also family, spouses, friends. What about you? I said this to someone yesterday. I said to her, I said, do something in memory of mommy. That if you could make a memorial for them, and whatever the circumstances are, you live for them or live because they could not complete something. What does that mean? Find a reason to live. Incentives work. So back to what I was saying. The little boy he said, help me with my son. Help me because there's something going on. Help me. I've spoken to parents whose children have been so depressed until, unfortunately, some of them try to cause harm to themselves, harm to others. And I've even dealt with a situation where there was this little boy who he heard something say, set yourself ablaze. I'll say it in a very cool flight manner. Don't do that. Don't do it. Do not hurt yourself. Life gets better. It gets better, but depression and suicide robs you of the opportunity to see it. Now, I just buried my son's friend a couple of weeks ago, and he used to say this. He used to say, you don't understand. He used to tell his father, I hate being in my own skin. It hurts to be in my own skin. It hurts to be in my own skin. It hurts. I'm going to need you to pay attention to your children. It is hard dealing with a child that doesn't want to live. It's hard dealing with a child or a person that it hurts getting up in the morning. It's hard dealing with a person over 2,180 people. It hurts where your children, you're trying to make them, 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 you're trying to make them. See what I'm saying? You're trying to make them, you're trying to make them, but it's you in support, it's them in a fight. So you have to Help them, not make them. You help them. There is a difference. You can't make nobody do nothing, but you can help them. You have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. Someone said my brother was like that as a kid. Did everything I could for them, and now they both are gone. Sometimes in a situation like that, you're dealing with the guilt that I tried to help them, but they're gone, and then you wear that guilt grief. You can't do that, baby, because it is a self-fight, self-esteem. It's like Cat Williams said, an esteem about how you feel about yourself. And as much as you try to help them, that fight is for them. Do you know I'm going to talk about two things? I'm going to talk to you about trauma. There is a traumatic torment associated with people who are depressed and have suicidal tendencies. As a mother and as people who deal with people who are unfortunately in a situation like that, you got it. It's very hard. It is draining. But don't ever let them hear you complaining. It is hard and it is draining. But don't ever let them hear you complaining. Because you might be all they have. That's why you have to get a support system, so you guys can navigate who the individuals can go to. That means one auntie is available, one cousin is available, the psychiatrist is available, your friend. You got to get a village to help them through it. But this is the torment. Sometimes when they don't pick up the phone and they're having an episode. Sometimes when you don't even want to leave them alone. It's tormenting. It's tormenting when you don't want to leave them alone. If they live alone, get their keys. Somehow, when they're living alone, get their house keys, especially during the times of the holiday. Don't let them be alone, even if you have to sit outside their house. It takes a village. When the love of mankind is waxed cold, unfortunately, there's some people that are so exhausted, they don't care. This is not your segment of the message. If you can't do it anymore, this is where you have to have a good psychiatrist, a good support system. You got to have the crisis unit in your phone because it is serious. Because there's such a gaping hole in mental illness, a gaping hole in the mental health crisis, and not near person in the Senate is dealing with it. Not one. You can take money for fracking. Most people don't even know what that is. Yeah, most women took their womb in a virgin womb. I know that. But you're talking about a lot of stuff. But let's talk about this. Sometimes you have to get out your feelings, mommy. You got to get out your feelings, daddy. Someone said this is powerful and very much needed. See, I'm a pastor that deals with holistic and holiness. I'm going to need you to get out your feelings, mommy and daddy. Because you got to make that call. Sometimes you have to have them committed. You got to do it. Because it's not about you. It's about saving them. 2,087 people on the sound of my voice. Hear me. It's not about you. It's about saving them. It is the holiday season. And in unity, we're going to help. We're going to, trust me, we getting together next week. A whole bunch of us will get ready to feed the less fortunate. We get ready to do that. Oh, don't worry. Christmas is coming. Y'all see how the trees look in unity. Y'all see it. I need the trees. I need y'all to donate. I need all the trees filled because there's somewhere mother saying, I can't feed my kids. I'm not talking about you that's trying to use the church. We know better. I'm talking about those that says, I'm so depressed until I can't fry egg. I'm so depressed until I can't go to the... I'm so depressed. We want to help. This is what the church is supposed to do. If you ever see us put up a flyer, mental health in the Black church, get there. Get there. Because it is therapy. When we log off, when those psychiatrists are sitting around walking saying, what can we do? It's free. Don't worry, the church will pick up that expense. Don't worry, what do we do? You got to know the difference between seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist. A therapist is what you need to talk to. The psychiatrist, the first one you need because they administer the medication. The therapists keep you going. I am going to say something. Brooke Goodman said that was wonderful Saturday. My sister, I have an older sister and she's getting ready to get one of the most highest honors that a therapist can get. She is a clinical therapist and she deals with patients who are suicidal and depressed. And I'm going to hit two things and then I'm going to get out of here. But I want to go to one of the things that y'all not paying attention to. In our community, they always have a liquor store. In our community, it is riddled with liquor stores. It is riddled with fast food restaurants. It is riddled with unfortunately, substance abuses. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen anywhere else, but it happens in our community. And one of the things that I am going to bring to your attention is whenever you are depressed, whenever you are sad, don't drink. Don't take a substance. Eat healthy, because you have to understand that the attack on your mind attacks your body and it'll attack everything associated to you. And so when you see alcoholism hits an all-time high around the holidays, it's because they're dealing with so much until they're trying to numb pain. The holidays may remind them of being in Thanksgiving and those people that they love are no longer there. And so what happens is the clinics get overcrowded during the holiday season. I'm not done yet. So please hold back. And I know you're crying, but you can be sober. You can live a life of sobriety. You can. You can. You don't have to numb your pain in a bottle. You don't have to numb your pain in any type of substance. Just challenge yourself that I'm not going to do this when I feel sad. I'm not going to do this when I get mad. I'm not going to do this to make me smile. I'm not going to do this. People are crying. This is necessary. Leaders, come on. Some people are dealing with decisions they made, and you made the wrong decision. So now you are so depressed because you don't know how to get out of it. You can. The Bible said he'll provide a way for you to escape it. Let me go a little bit deeper. Having a conversation or conversing with my sister, she said this to me and it blew my mind. And when I came in, because I was with Bishop Coletta Vaughn on Saturday, and I came in and I began to deal with what the Lord was laying on my heart. Can I give it to you guys? Most people who get to the point where they become depressed and they become suicidal. My sister said that what she would do when she get patients and she would go to them because she was a social worker. She would say, "Oh, welcome back." And I would say, "Joy, what are you talking about?" She said, "I would say welcome back because they had an attempt and their attempt was not successful. We wish that none of them are successful, right?" And she said, "The reason why I say that is because God gave him another chance at life." She said 9 times out of 10, the patients that I speak to, they didn't mean it. They got so overwhelmed, T. Jackson, bless you. They got so overwhelmed until they responded and they reacted and they couldn't take that moment back. And so it'll leave quickly. She said, but I get the opportunity to speak to some of them where they say, "This was a mistake. This is a mistake. I did not mean to do this." And so you have to really think when you're going through something that you don't become spontaneous. Because your emotions and you being, someone said, "I'm crying," that's okay. Someone right now, you're so emotional and you're so upset, the spontaneity could put you in a bad place that you did not mean. So hold up. Get help. Don't allow the fact that you're single to get you in a place of depression. Don't do that. Sometimes you can be so spontaneous until that one moment you cannot take back. And then your family says, "Why?" "I didn't know that they was depressed like that. I didn't know I didn't know. You didn't know because they were dealing with something in secret. And even some of you might know it. It was so bad until they, boom, they became spontaneous. And then, bam, you can't take it back. Breathe. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath now. It's going to be all right. Do not become spontaneous when you are emotionally overwhelmed. Breathe. Breathe. Don't do that. You can fix what's broken in your life. Don't you dare let the devil tell you that you can't. Job 3, the Bible says that Job, he said, I cursed the day that I was born. Read Job 3 and 1. He said, I cursed the day that they said that you have a son. He was so upset because he had lost everything, but he did not curse God. But he did not take the opportunity that he was presented with hardship, and take his life. I'm going to need you to relax. It's going to get better. As someone just said, Nicole said, don't take a permanent decision based on a temporary problem. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Let me tell you, I know what it is to be that way. Oh yeah, I'm very transparent. When I was living in Brooklyn, New York, I tried to jump out of a window. I sure did. 450 Clinton Avenue between Gates and Green. 4th floor. D1 was the apartment. And I was going through something and tried to jump out of a window. And my mother, my aunt pulled me back. Bam! Hit me on the floor. Shut They were speaking in tongues and everything. And then after that, my mother called the therapist. I'm here to tell you it gets better. And I'm not stuck around to see how good it gets. I went and had beautiful children, amazing husband, beautiful friends and family like you, and leading a nation. Oh, I can only lead it if I have the experience, right? And so I know what it is. Don't allow a breakup to break you up. Don't allow a breakup to break you up. Just because a person cannot love you does not mean that you allow their less loving to make you not love yourself. Never put how you feel about yourself in the hands of somebody else. Never put how you feel about yourself in the hands of somebody else. I'm going to say that again. Never put how you feel about yourself in the hands of somebody else. Can I say that again? Never put how you feel about yourself in the hands of somebody else. Now, please, I am asking you to get help. It is okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to say nothing to anyone. Do not suffer in silence. I'm asking you, don't do that. Say something. They tell you in the airport, if you see something, say something. And so let's incorporate that with everybody's day-to-day life. If you see something, say something. If you see something that ain't right about somebody, say something. Like, hey, let me tell you something. Thank you for calling me the great GOAT. Thank you for that. Let me tell you something. You know what I heard? And it ain't sipping tea. When you sip gossip, that's a different story. But when you say, I think that she's suffering from depression, I think they're suicidal, I heard them say, well, then we can all respond. We can't respond or react over something we don't know. I am saying the holiday seasons are very hard for people. Let's do what we can to help them. I'll preach tonight in Bible study. I'll preach tomorrow, in fact, if you follow the Call Chronicles movement. But don't you dare suffer in silence. This is necessary. This is necessary. I'm worried about your holistic, not just your soul. You need a therapist. Find a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist will administer medication, and the therapist will help you dissect what the problem is and compartmentalize it so that you'll know that you can handle it. You can handle it. Oftentimes, Janika, bless you, I've gone to unfortunate funerals, and I look at the children and the pain that's on their face, that the person left such a scar on that child or that family until there's a level of it that's just selfish. So you hurt everybody because you're hurting. I get it. I get it. But if you at least try to help yourself so that we could help you and we could be the family that sticks together no matter what. Don't rob them of that opportunity. Fight. Fight. I need y'all to fight. It hurts to get out of bed. Depression is real. It hurts to get out of bed. There are mothers that are just suffering because of their children. I don't know. Sometimes, mommy, daddy, you can't do it. You need them to speak to their peer. So you need a support group in their age group that can help them understand their lexicon or their language. You can't. A moment of strength is what this video is today. It's a moment of strength that it's going to be all right if you fight to see that it's okay. I am Pastor Jameliah Gooden. I want to help those that I listen. We're a church. We're Unity Charlotte International, 5323 East Independence Boulevard. I'm here every day at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hear what I'm saying? Relax, sound, bless you. It's going to be all right. I want to help them. Can we do that? I am lifting donations for the holidays, for Thanksgiving, so that they can make sure that they have food on the table, and Christmas. I want to fill up all them trees. Remember last year, y'all? Every child got a bike. The ugly Christmas tree sweater contest is coming up. They laugh. They laugh. I love it because they come to church and they laugh, at least a little bit. But it hurts. But at least the smile helps hold on a little bit. So can we help them? Can y'all just give something special today so that I can make sure that they have some food? Can you do that? Can you give a little extra today so that I can at least fill up the church with toys and bikes because they don't have it in them to just go get the child a gift? Go to www.carchronicles.org and give. Give. I'm going to leave it to y'all today because this is what we do. We do help. We do things you don't even know. But I want to help during the holidays because sometimes they're depressed because they don't have it. There's no turkey. Ain't all the fixes. There ain't none of that in my house. You'll be surprised. Colleen said, yes, we have so much fun. That small token can be something that can help them get through the holidays. Hear what I'm saying? Someone said, Troy Creamer said, thank you, Pastor, much needed message. You don't have to be by yourself for the holidays. Find somewhere to go. Go to somebody's house. You ain't got to be by yourself for the holidays. No. Sometimes people are someone said, this is so good. Shay, the Queen, thank you. Sometimes people are depressed because they by themselves for the holiday. Find somewhere to go. I think we got 22 people sitting around the table. And this ain't even at my house. This is with the less fortunate. You have to know it's going to be all right. I'm going to need you to live, baby, live. Fight another day. But don't you dare let suicide have its way. Because you deserve to smile. Have a psychiatrist in one hand. And have a good church in another. Let your faith and your works go hand in hand. Because you need a plan. I love you. And I mean it when I say live